Hello. So this morning, I woke up just thinking again, and yeah, it was a lot to think about. So I was thinking about how, like just these videos, the whole reason I started doing them was because I knew I wasn't going to have anybody to talk to, and, I was going to need some kind of an outlet in some form or fashion. And, yeah, it's been hard. The last month especially. I went literally, and I'm not kidding, I went something like 3 weeks without having, a real inhuman conversation with someone, a long-standing conversation where I'm where jokes are abound and there's laughter and there's, awkwardness. I had none of that for 3 weeks. The only human interaction I had was with, a cashier, just to be thank you, have a nice day, and, that's all it was. And, I have my friends who I'm talking to on the phone, which is cool, but even then, it's, only every so often, and it can only do so much. We need that in-person connection. And I knew it was, getting bad, but, I had these videos, I had a way to express myself in some way, which was helpful. But then it was I can do this all I want, but it's not going to sustain me mentally or emotionally. It's just not, it's not challenging, it's not stimulating enough. And I thought it could be. But then it was this last week, a couple of days ago, a coworker of mine was like, hey, I need to show you how to do this thing. And I was like, okay. And I had the longest conversation that I had in weeks. And it wasn't anything, special, so to speak. It was it was gossiping about work. And it was shit like that. And I can't tell you how much better I felt after that happened. Just so much better than I had in days. And as much of an introvert as I am, and as terrified as I am of people and of talking to people, we need that. And it was starting to get just really hard, and I don't know what to do about that, making friends, it's not easy. It didn't get any easier. And I just I feel it took, I worked on myself for years, in social situations, and I got better with talking to people, with expressing myself, and actually having fun with people. And sometimes it is still mentally and emotionally exhausting, but for the most part, I enjoyed it more than I was scared of it. And I just feel myself sinking back into who I was when I was in middle school, when I was terrified to talk, or even to, I wouldn't even cough in public. I didn't think about how weird that was until maybe a couple of years ago, when I realized that oh, I have anxiety, that's what's wrong with me. I started thinking back on all the things that I wouldn't do, and coughing was one of them. And I was just I was so bad at, I didn't want to make any noise whatsoever. I just wanted to not, it was I didn't want to be weird, somehow coughing made me weird, even though I know when somebody else coughs, it's not a big deal. I don't know, but I feel that coming back again at my new job, because we all have cubicles, and God, I'm so scared to make a noise. I can't eat there. Like, I have to eat in my car. It's shit like that where, like, I'm scared to move. Like, I feel like typing is weird because I'm making too much noise. It's like, you know, and that's just carrying over into, like, my regular conversations, and it's really difficult. I don't know how to reconcile with that. I sort of tried, you know, setting up a therapy lesson. I keep calling them lessons. A therapy session, meeting, appointment, I don't know. But then, like, I messaged 2 therapists on, like, Psychology Today, and I didn't hear back from them, and that made me mad. It made me mad because, like, if you're gonna have that platform and you should answer back, or you should hire somebody to answer those back, something. Like, that's just not, I don't know, to me, that's not professional. Like, if you're gonna have that platform, you have to respond. And if you can't respond on that platform, then you should say, call me at my office, email me at this, blah, 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 blah. If you're not accepting new patients, put that in there. I'm not accepting new patients. And if Psychology Today doesn't allow you to do that, like, doesn't allow you to say, reach me at my office, blah, 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 then fucking answer back. Like, I don't know, like, these are literally people who don't know how to find a therapist. This is the first thing that they Google and the first thing that they find, and then that you just, like, don't respond. Like, that's so shitty. Maybe I just happened to message the 2 therapists that do this. Maybe it's more common than I think, or maybe it's less common than I think, but that just, like, really rubbed me the wrong way, and I don't know, like, I already feel weird about telling a stranger all of my problems and then expecting them to know how to help me. You know, like, I already have to trust somebody with all the shit that I've been through, and then also hopefully, you know, they would understand what's going on, and I don't know. So in my defense, I tried, but it made me mad, and now I don't want to be a part of that system. Like, I don't want to support it. I'm so annoying. I don't know. That just might be another anxiety thing. I'm just stalling. I'm just, like, picking a reason to not. That's very like me. I stall. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to be creative. I'm trying to read, but I've just been having such a difficult time focusing on reading. I don't know, I'm getting bored with TV again, and I'm getting bored with music again. It's the worst when you get bored of the things that used to make you happy. I might buy this table on IKEA though today, so maybe that'll bring some happiness to my life just for a little bit. I'm convinced furniture is the key. You know, instead of spending money on therapy, I'm gonna spend money on a table. Anyway, I was thinking about, like, how these videos somebody talking about how lonely I am, and then I don't answer the phone. It's not a number I have saved, just so you know. It's from a number in my hometown. I don't know. I'm not gonna think about it. Oh, fuck. Well, I was thinking about how these videos are something that my future children might potentially see. If I have those, I hope I do. I don't know. That was always the goal, to have a family, but I still doubt how realistic that is. just statistically, you know, like how am I supposed to find my person? Let's delve into that just real quick. I always used to wonder that, like even in middle school, I was like, it doesn't make sense that like out of all these people, the person that like I love more than anything is also gonna love me more than anything. Like that just sounds fucking impossible. Anyway, I'm just like so getting off topic. It occurred to me that my potential future children could be watching this. And then it made me wonder, like, why are they watching this? Like, you know, I don't, like, did I die and now they're looking for a way to listen to me? Or did they get mad at me and they're trying to find a way to humiliate me? Or did their friend find this and they were like, hey, is this your mom? She's hot. Which is fine. But, like, I don't know. I'm just, like, I'm wondering these things. You know, or like, did my kid find these, you know, when they're like 10? Or did they find these in their 50s? Or did my grandchildren find these? Or maybe my husband, maybe my future husband is watching this. Hi. You're great, I think. But like, I don't know. And then it made me wonder, like, okay, what if my kid is seeing it while I'm alive and they're mad at me? Like, why are they mad at me? You know, what if they're my age right now and I'm being mean, or maybe not even like I'm being mean, but I'm not understanding a situation and they're upset with me, and God, I don't know. There's so many things it could be. I'm just always like, I'm so scared that my future kids are gonna like hate me for whatever reason or another, and I think it's just because of how my relationship was with my parents. I don't think I ever hated my parents, but I was always really mad at them for not listening. And I'll just leave that at that. But that's my biggest fear, is like, I don't want my kid to feel that way too. Like, I want them to feel like they could talk to me about anything, you know, and even if we disagree, like, still just talk to me. Don't like, but then what if I am being mean? What if I'm not being respectful? What if I'm getting lost in my own head? And I need therapy. I shouldn't be a parent not going into therapy. I don't know. What if my husband's mad at me? What if we're fighting? I hope we're not. I'm just like so scared that all of my future relationships won't work out because, like, I don't know, my present ones tend to not work out for whatever reason. Or what if there's like a 23andMe, but for people. Oh my God, that's fascinating. So what if like in 200 years there's like a 23andMe, but you're able to find like all of your relatives' social media accounts, and then you can like look them up and see what they've made. Holy shit, that's fucking crazy. Like some kid like just did that. I don't know, maybe he's in his 30s, maybe she's in her 30s, maybe I'm presuming their gender, I don't know. But they just found these because, oh my God, that's insane. Can you imagine like YouTube archives like that, or maybe even having to like request them? Like, I need to request something from 2021. Like, oh, those are the dark ages. What do you need from there? And it's like, oh, my great aunt had a YouTube channel. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. God, that's fucking fascinating. Like, you could actually see all of this. Or maybe it's like students. Maybe it's like grad students and they're like researching, I don't know, unpopular YouTube channel from like the 2020s. Maybe there's like been a surge of YouTube channels since the pandemic started because people are fucking bored and yearning. God, this is fascinating. So it's like, yeah, who am I talking to? Am I talking to somebody like 2 hours from now, or 3 days from now, 4 weeks from now, 7 months, 7 years, 70 years, 700 years? I don't know. This is fucking crazy. God, this is fascinating. What do y'all want to know? Okay, so, hi, my name's Elise. I'm from a state called Texas. I don't know if it's around anymore. There's a good chance it's not because we can be fucking idiots. I moved to Massachusetts. Is Massachusetts still there? Do they have 3-lane roads now? I hope they know that those exist and that they can exist in places that aren't bridges. They're these wonderful things where, like, you don't have to keep merging in between 2 and 1 lanes. And yeah, have they figured that out yet? We can have 3-lane roads. Do we have roads anymore? Are you allowed to drive if you don't have an electric car? Do we still eat meat? Does Tyson still control everything? Does Jeffrey Bezos have kids? Do they still control do they still have most of the wealth of the world? Is that finally outlawed? No? Yeah, I figured. Wow, this is fascinating. What about crypto? How's that going? I have this theory that in like 200 years, the waste situation will be so bad that when you're born, you're gonna get like 1 plate and 1 like spoon, and in 5 years you can get another set. Oh, and 1 cup. I feel like it's gonna get to that point. Where like you can't dispose of anything stupid like a paper towel. If I start thinking about waste, things are gonna get very bad very quickly. Oh my gosh, what else? Why are you here? You know, I'm wondering, like, really, like, if a student was studying this, why would they be here? Like, are they just kind of like, why did people who weren't popular still make these things? Did it happen because of the pandemic? Kind of. I mean, yeah, kind of. Maybe I knew what this was going to be like, you know, moving because I was so bored during the pandemic. Like, I was trying to keep myself busy. I say during the pandemic, I should say during quarantine. I tried very hard to keep myself busy. I was organizing all of my past math notes, and I was practicing piano music. Like, I learned how to read, not learned how to read, but I was trying really hard to like just read music and playing it off that way, and I learned a song. What was it? It was the theme song for Sharp Objects, I think it was. So yeah, I learned something. I read a fuck ton of books. I think I read something like 12 in the 5 weeks that I was at home, something like that. I started watching a bunch of stand-up. I started watching, it really started with like, that's when I started getting into YouTube, like really. So it's 2021, YouTube's been around since like 2006, so like a solid 15 years. I'm 27 years old, and like when I was in high school and college, I didn't really get into it because I didn't really understand it. So that's something you need to understand, is that like the differences between locations. Like, so I'm not from the biggest city in the world, and it's also South Texas, so things are kind of slow to develop and move in all areas. So like, even though YouTube was, it really peaked with Janet Jackson and all that shit. Fuck Justin Timberlake. That's all I have to say. But that was around, yeah, like 2005, 2006. And I didn't really get into YouTube because I didn't really know how to use it. And I didn't have an attention span long enough to like keep going through different videos like that. But I started following this channel, like John and Hank Green, and I started following it because Hank Green came out with a book called The Fault in Our Stars, and they do a lot of like just a lot of things for like humanitarian efforts, like trying to raise money to donate to this cause or trying to raise awareness about this. And like they've just consistently done that for probably a decade now. They started their YouTube channel because they lived far away from each other, they're brothers, and they just wanted a way to communicate. So on every Tuesday and every Friday, one of them sets up a video, a 4-minute video, and they do that. So that was one of the very first channels that I ever followed, and it's the one that I consistently followed for a long time. So long that in 2019, I think it was, a friend of mine was like, hey Elise, you should come to Austin because Hank Green is going to be here for his book signing and he's going to talk about stuff. And I was like, oh my god. And I met Hank Green, and it was really cool. And I literally just told him that like he was the only YouTuber that I really ever consistently followed. And yeah, basically just to thank him. And so during quarantine, because I followed those guys, a lot of stuff for Crash Course things were coming up. And also, goddamn Elise, I don't think that's gonna work. God, I have such a headache. I think it's because I've had too much coffee and not anything else. His wife has a video, not a video, a channel. Well, it's not her channel, but she works on it, I think. I don't know. But it's for art. And so I started watching those. Just like different artists and art appreciation and like art history and all that good shit. I started paying attention to that. And I really liked it. So then I started going down this art rabbit hole. And then she had this segment where she was like cooking things that Picasso would have had in a day, or that Van Gogh would have had in a day. And I was watching those, and I really liked the cooking things. From there, YouTube started showing me cooking things. So I found this Korean vlogger named Sidu. I hope I'm saying that right. I really like her stuff. It's just her living her little life with her dog in like close to Seoul. And she cooks a lot. So now I make a lot of weird, like, not weird, but I cook a lot of very easy Korean dishes. I eat that stuff a lot. God, what else? I'm missing a big YouTuber. I can't. Why am I missing a big? Yeah. So also cooking. I started following Josh Wiseman. He's a Texas YouTuber. He just does cooking things, and it's really funny. And like it really helped me get through quarantine. I was starting to like make more fun recipes. That's another thing I started doing more during quarantine. I was cooking more. What else? I got into crypto and I got into stocks during quarantine. I didn't have that much money to put towards it, but I had something, and I figured like I should probably do this because at the time I didn't have any retirement anything. Now I have more things. I'm getting too off track. Back to YouTube. So where did I leave off? Josh Wiseman. Yeah, he just came out with a book, so that was cool. God, I just forgot. Okay, and then The Queen's Gambit. That was a chess show that came out on Netflix, and I really liked it. It was really good. It came out a bit after quarantine. I found this chess YouTuber called Gotham Chess. I really like his shit. But basically, he just like... Did that move? He just plays chess and talks. And some of it is informational. He'll put out like deliberate videos, like 10-minute videos going over certain openings, like the Carl Khan or the Vienna or like the London and like all that good shit. But then he does like these Twitch streams in which he just plays 3-minute games and he just talks to like chat and stuff. And I really enjoyed it. I don't know, it was great. So despite me trying to be as productive as possible during quarantine, I was still losing my mind. It wasn't enough. I was like restless. I couldn't sleep at night. I was just laying there until like 4 and 5 and 6 in the morning, and I couldn't get myself to sleep. So I was starting to like dance, and I was trying to make myself do dance videos and dance workouts just to like tire me out. But then what would end up happening is I'd just take a nap during the day, and yeah, it's an interesting time. I was painting more. I was doing a lot. I was playing Zelda's Breath of the Wild. I love that game. Still haven't finished it because I don't want to. I was trying. So I was getting ready to move across the country, and I knew that it was going to be rough. I was just thinking back to like those quarantine days, and then also to like the time that I had a mental breakdown in 2018, and I was just trying so hard to like not hit that rock bottom again. And my biggest thing is just being alone. I don't do well with it. Like, as much as I need to be alone, I don't do well when I think people have forgotten about me, or when I don't know. It's a very meta situation. And I've always been that way. But I knew that I was going to need something. So I started doing this right before I left, just to test it out and see. And I do enjoy it. It's a nice creative outlet. It's a way for me to get my thoughts out, and it's a way for me to distract myself for like at least half an hour, just to like get out of my own head, just to like not be on my phone, not be scrolling through anything, not to be hearing about the news, not to be thinking about what piece of furniture I want next, like literally just to have a conversation in some way. And since I can't have a real conversation, I can just talk out loud to someone who would potentially see this. You know, maybe nobody will see this. You know, now or in the next 50 years. I don't know. Maybe somebody will. Maybe it'll matter to them. I don't know. But because of Gotham Chess and the way that he sets up his shit, I was like, okay, maybe I can do the same thing with playing chess. And I did originally want to do it on Twitch, but I don't think my laptop can do that. I even got a capture card, and I don't think my laptop is just quick enough to handle everything that's going on. And I also don't have the best Wi-Fi in the world. And honestly, like, it has helped. Even though I know that hardly anybody watches this, and even the people that do watch this, they watch it for all of like 2 seconds. I looked at those statistics once and it made me want to cry. So like, I don't want to open those statistics things up ever again. I've done one math video so far, and I have the problems ready for a second math video, but I've just been putting it off. I don't know. And so I'm trying to like drop some knowledge, like help in a more direct way if I can. But in reality, like, these videos are just for me, because I don't have anything else. I'm trying to make more things. Like, I have poems. That's the other thing that I've always done all of my life, is like, I've written. I started writing when I was like maybe 10 years old. And I've since thrown that journal away. I think I was like 19 and I made myself throw it away. Because at 19, I was already like looking back at those journals, trying to figure out like, why am I sad? Where did this go wrong? And it's just like heartbreaking to see that I've always been sad. And I knew that like I was just going to keep trying to pin it on something, and I didn't want to keep going back and making myself sad. So I threw it away. There was a second one that was after that too, like immediately after the first journal that I was writing in, and I threw that one away. It was just interesting. But I was a kid, so like I had these markers, and so with one marker I would write the day and the date, and then in another marker I would write the time, and then in another colored marker I would write the entry. Since then I've kept a ton of journals, like from when I was 15 and 16, 17. Through college, it wasn't as often because I was just so busy. But they are there. I have some writings from like 2016 and 2017. And then it really started to take off in 2018 when I was losing my mind. And then I just kept it more consistent. And yeah, I write a mix of poetry and just like endless dialogue, and I have a short story that I've tried writing a million times. I tried writing that during quarantine. The other thing I was doing during quarantine was like compiling all of my writings into a single, work, which I'm still working on. That's something I work on every so often. I have a blog if you're interested. I don't know if those are still around. Can you just access any website now? Is there like any kind of restriction? I feel like there is now. But it's www.doctorofanarcoleptic.weebly.com. And I have some poetry on there and some film and some writing from when I traveled, and I don't know, I'm just always making shit. But this feels a lot like a journal, and I think that's maybe why I like it so much. It's because like I was always scared that nobody would ever know what I was thinking or what I wanted to say, and so I would write it, and I would find it was a lot easier to write things. And you know, maybe I find it a lot easier to just do these little things. They feel a lot like writing. God, my whole left leg is asleep. I don't know what to do about that. So yeah, to anyone in the future listening to this, if you're my family, hi, my name's Elise. I'm like 5 feet tall, so if you're also 5 feet tall, I'm sorry. That's my fault. I have astigmatism. It's worse in my right eye than it is in my left. What else genetic? My second toe kind of curves, and I hate it. I've always hated it. It's kind of gross. God, I don't know. This is so fascinating. Yeah. You have some Apache in you. I'm Apache. My grandma's, I think, great-grandma was an Apache Indian. There's some Aztec in there, supposedly, from my father's side. There's Irish in there. Someone immigrated from Ireland to Texas, like, I don't know, that's my great-grandma's grandfather, so whatever year that is. I think she was born in the 30s, so I guess he would have been born, like, in the late 1800s. Related to Saint Teresa of Avila in Spain, on my father's side, supposedly. To anybody who's listening to this 2 days from now, this was a fucking weird video. To anybody 300 years from now, life is kind of cool. I imagine you and I have a lot of the same problems and issues, and a lot of them are also very different, but I don't know. I hope this got you some answers, or, you know, for whatever fucking reason you're here, I don't know. And, if you're my kid, or my future husband, or maybe even my brother, my sister, my sibling, you're great. You're great, and I'm happy to know you, and I'm almost 100% positive I love you with all of my heart. Level 60, that's cool. I'm gonna leave now. This is so fucking weird. My mouse doesn't work, I forgot that. Yeah, okay. Bye.